welcome to Intro to Pre-Law 101 with Professor Jima. We are at Hillmantok Community College. Speaking of Hillmantok, this was make-believe, guys. The information that we are dispersing is real, okay? And that was the whole point of this, was to have this like make-believe place where we can like put out information that may not be accessible to our greater community, specifically black people, okay? Like that was the point of this. I'm a lawyer. I went to law school. Like I went to university at PWI. Like I wanted to spread the information of how to get into this profession based on what I know, what I've studied, what I've endured, okay? I work in higher ed, so I'm qualified, but like I have no sororities for you, no t-shirts, no none of that. Like this was Hillmantok Community College. Like I make that up. I Now if somebody else came up with that, my bad. I really didn't see it. And that led me to the point of even thinking like, hey, like we have Hillmantok University, but community college are a like staple in our communities as well. And they provide an amazing education to people who may not have the luxury or the resources to go to university or just the circumstances. Okay? So that is Hillmantok Community College. Make believe. The information I'm giving you though, very real. Okay? So let's jump into today's class. And also, guys, last week I was sick, coughing. I was not about to get on here and do all that. So my bad. Sorry for not letting y'all know. A real professor would have sent an email if it was a real class, and it's not, like I said. So yeah. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about legal research and legal writing in law school in the greater context of being a lawyer, what that writing looks like. So, one of the core classes that you will take in law school your first year is legal writing, legal analysis, legal research. Sometimes some schools will bundle it all in one. Sometimes there are three different courses. Sometimes there are two. Whoop-de whoop-de-whoop. I'm going to give a rapid fire version of what you're going to learn in that class. So, legal research. Legal research consists of your client comes to you with a problem. You have to ask yourself, is there a statute on that issue that my client has brought to me? Is there a law? Is there established case law? Did somebody else bring a lawsuit that was similar in my state? What did the court decide so that I can then look to that for a solution for my client, okay? So say somebody comes to me, hey, Professor Jima, I slipped and fell in front of my university. Can I sue? First question in the realm of a lawyer, is there a statute on that? Is there a statute about a student falling in front of a university and what that looks like, what reparations that student is entitled to? That's the first place I'm going to look, okay? And most lawyers have different search engines that we use, Westlaw, LexisNexis, Google Scholar, hey, just saying, stuff like that, okay? You're going to look there for a statute. In those search engines, you can also look up cases that are similar, like I stated. And that is what essentially legal research is finding relevant case law. Has there been a decision on this? So I can tell my student, hey, even though you fell, like, sorry, you signed away your rights to sue the university. Or actually, yes, you can sue. And this case told us, or this statute tells us that. That's legal research. Now, in the analysis and writing portion, if I was working at a law firm and my supervisor wanted me to research this, right? So my supervisor emailed me and said, hey, we have a client who is a student at the university that fell and wants to know what they're entitled to. Can you write up a brief summary of what that looks like, whether or not we can take this student on as a client and what they are entitled to? Okay, so in legal writing, the format that you want your writing to be in, it sort of differs. So if you're writing like a memo like that, there's templates for that. If you're writing a brief to the court arguing, like say you take this case on and it goes to like the Court of Appeals, right? We can get through all that. That's another class of the different trajectory of cases. But say you have to argue in front of the judge why the judge should rule that the student is entitled to sue the law school and be provided reparation. It's a whole nother format that you would write it in, okay? And so on and so forth. But for this specific type of, your law partner is asking you to write up a synopsis, you are going to use this format called IRAC, okay? Some people use CREAC. I'm going to tell you what that means. IRAC, okay? So the first part of your IRAC is going to say something to this, something like this. The issue at hand is whether or not a client who is a student at the university is entitled to reparations or damages due to slipping and falling on ice in front of the university on the sidewalk. Boom, we stated what we're about to address. That's your issue. Your rule, is there a statute on that? Is there case law on that? Okay? Then you're going to go research in your search engine about slip and falls, students, universities. What does that look like? Is there in the handbook that if you're a student and you slip and fall, like you cannot sue? Sorry, like we take care of you in other ways, so you cannot sue us. Or is that not in the handbook? And there's a law that protects students. They're still like public people, right? So if there's law on that, I'm going to say, under statute blah 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 of the blah 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 blah, a student is entitled to damages in these types of situations. Okay, I'm going to list the situations, and then I'm going to say furthermore, under Apple v. Oranges, in the Court of Appeals in 2009 decided that a student who did fall at the University of Apples and Oranges was entitled to damages because that student was still a public servant and deserves to not be harmed while walking on a public ground. You know, something like that. That's your rule paragraph, or your rules. You're listing out what are the things that are going to help us answer our issue, okay? Then you're going to go to the A, analysis. Okay, the analysis is going to say, okay, we have our issue, we have the statute and the cases that tell us how this is supposed to go. Now let's analyze it here. In our current case at hand, the student is entitled because, one, the student is a student. They are registered, they have an ID number, they are taking courses, they frequent the school, they are a student, they meet that first qualification. Secondly, they are enrolled into the University of Apples and Oranges. They have registered, they're active, there's no holds on their account. You want to give all the facts, you want to make it juicy, okay? Don't leave anything out, at least that's relevant. And then you're going to say the student fell, okay? They went to the hospital, they had a broken hip or a broken arm, okay? You want to show the injury happened, okay? And here you're also going to want to, like, the biggest type of law that this case is really analyzing is negligence. Negligence is what most slip and falls is under. That's under tort law. Injury, personal injury, because that student got hurt from slipping on the ice, okay? So you're going to analyze all the elements of negligence and all the things that the statutes and the case law have told you, and then your conclusion is going to state, because this person or our client presented with an issue where they fell, they're a student, they meet all the requirements per statute, blah, 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 as indicated by Apples v. Oranges, the student is entitled to sue the school and be given damages. Boom, IRAC. You've told your client or your boss, I know how to freaking be a lawyer. Okay? I addressed the issue that our client came to. I addressed the rules that are over this type of issue, the law that is already established that we should follow. I analyzed how we should apply that law here. And lastly, I told you the conclusion of how the court should decide here, or how this case should play out based on how these other cases played out in the court, or what the statute says. And that's it, guys. IRAC, issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. And before that, you're going to research, is there a statute on that? That's what one of my favorite professors would always say. So always remember that. If you have a legal question and you don't have money for a lawyer, whatever your issue is, you need to go into Google and put statute about da-da-da-da-da. That right there can help you so much, okay? And also, utilize calling the clerk's office of the court. I'm just saying, they may not be able to give you legal advice because they're not lawyers, but they're really helpful in helping you navigate the justice system, okay? Anyways, thank you for joining, guys. It's Professor Jima. Welcome, or thank you for joining Intro to Pre-Law 101 at Hillmantok Community College. Again, a make-believe community college, okay? All right, bye.